starting with a peon. That's not usually necessary, but since he's gonna go harass, that's a good idea because then you know exactly what the human player is doing. At the same time, he's using his two wolves to creep to the small apprentice wizard camp to get at least some experience, and that's usually a good idea. I mean, if you're gonna go harass anyways, then you're not gonna need your wolves right at the start, because your Farseer is just gonna be running over the map, all over the map. So the bad thing about this harass is that you're always gonna be too late for the laboratory creeps. You won't be able to really get a creep check off of him. He will just be able to finish it up and then actually go for the next one. And yeah, he loses a wolf and nilknarf gets level 2, so that's not really the best start of the game in this sense, because now nilknarf is level 2, and so he won't have to worry about it too much later, getting level 2. But well, on this map it's pretty much impossible to prevent the human player from getting level 2 anyways. Since the map is quite small, it's usually a good idea. I mean, I'm sure many audio commentators have already talked about this, but it's usually a good idea to creep your opponent's side if you can, and then he didn't get that creep still, but well. And so your opponent will have less creeps, because there are not too many creeps on this map. There are quite a fair amount, but still not too many. So it's a bit the same with Echo Isles. If you can manage to take down a lot of creeps on his side, he will have a lot more difficulty to leveling his second hero at tier 2, because usually what you can do at tier 2 is just harass with the first hero, or I don't know, I mean, it's like have like a few militia and then with your whole army, and then creep on your own side. But if your own side is already crept, well, you can't do that. Pretty nice wolf micro, except that, well, I mean, this one got blocked, so nilknarf still gets it. And his grunts are getting a bit low, his Farseer is getting low, so it's not the most effective harass here, because it's actually rather nilknarf harassing him than Rabbit harassing nilknarf. He's trying, well, he was a bit lucky there that his grunt didn't get surrounded. Yeah, I mean, right here he really has to heal up, and he has arrived at tier 2, so nilknarf has arrived at tier 2 as well, because, well, with the lumber mill built, the human will arrive at tier 2 pretty much at the same time. The one good thing that he did with all his harass is that he got 2 footmen low, so usually the human player will at least try to go back and heal his 2 footmen. I mean, if it's only 1, he probably won't do it, but if it's 2, he will usually go back and heal the footman, because before he comes to harass your base. Now he goes to creep the Goblin Laboratory, and it's actually a much better time to do this than at the early game, because he was tier 2 and he didn't have his second hero out yet, so he got actually bonus experience on his Farseer. And check it out, I mean, he's at 381, whereas the human player with all these wolf kills and 1 creep camp more is just at 543, so I mean, he's actually maximizing the experience he gets. And in the same vein, he's also gonna go and take back his Farseer here and allow the TC to get to level 2. That's usually one good thing you can do. On this game, nilknarf has decided to go Mountain King. I'm not exactly sure why. I guess because he wanted to fast expand, and hence he needed something to, more pressure power to defend his base with, and to defend his expansion with it. And right here, yeah, nilknarf's creeping is interesting because he actually storm bolted the wizard, and so that the wizard wouldn't actually cast Purge on his water elemental. And that's actually something pretty good to do, so if you got a Mountain King and you want to level him up at tier 2, early tier 2, you can use one Stormbolt like this. I mean, it's not a waste at all. nilknarf's illusion, like doing some scouting in his base. And Rabbit again goes for early Wind Riders because he expects casters. I mean, he expects footmen to casters and then to something else. So he wants to be able to take down the casters directly early game. That's one of the disadvantages if you go for Raid or Spirit Walker, because you have a lot longer time periods between the time where you go you get to tier 2 and the time that you actually have your first tier 2 units that are operational, because both for raiders and for spirit walkers you need an upgrade, so it's a very slow build compared to fast wyverns, for example. Of course, the harass with the air units is always nice, and that actually permits him to go towards the expansion and check whether there's an expansion building, and there is. So first thing to do, Chain Lightning and Shockwave, the TC1 to level 3, so that's pretty nice. And again, Chain Lightning, Shockwave, and he's just trying to take down the expansion right now, which is pretty smart. I mean, he will probably have to TP out. Yeah, he has to TP out. But he took down the Expo, and I don't know if nilknarf actually cancelled it. Yeah, it looks like he cancelled it, but I'm not exactly sure. And in the meantime, he took down the Golden Shredder on nilknarf's side, and that's very good. One reason why human expansions on Terenas Stand are very, very strong is because they can get a Golden Shredder. And while human usually, I mean, let's put it this way, they can mine with a lot of peons, and it's not bad if they just make a lot of peons to get some